Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wrestling Tracks. I'm so sorry for the delay. I have Davison Sarai with me. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm sorry about all this delay and everything. All right, let's get down to it. Tell the people, for those who don't know about you, tell them about yourself. You got to hear this, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm out here trying. My name is Davison Sarai. I am a professional wrestler. I debuted last October. I don't know where you live. I'm in West Michigan. I'm in Kalamazoo.
Yes.
But I was wrestling for my home fed at the time called Independence Pro Wrestling. I won the women's title in my debut match against Randy West, which is kind of a cool note. I recently stepped out of IPW as like a home fed because I'm starting to go around other businesses a little bit more. But ultimately, I did color commentary for them for about 2 years. I've now wrestled in a couple different states. I just had a seminar last night with Tommy Dreamer and Johnny Bravo from Impact. Mm-hmm. So things are happening, moving in the right direction for sure.
By the way, the clip that she sent Tommy Dreamer is the same clip she sent me on accident, of course. But man, my God, this lady let me tell you something. She had a match, a hardcore match. At some point in the match, thumbtacks were used. She took a back suplex onto the damn thumbtacks.
Well, that wasn't it. Not only that, but then later in the match, she had me in that guillotine choke, and the only way to get out of it was to try to somersault past her. Mm-hmm. But she rolled back holding onto it, so I wound up flat on my back in the middle of those tacks again. At the end, yeah, that was tremendous.
I saw her hand. I saw Davison's hand afterward. You imagine having that pulled out of your hand after that. My God, I'll be screaming.
I was even pulling out during the match. You could hear me swear a couple of times.
Yeah.
Swearing and yanking them out, bleeding all over my shirt. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though, dude. I'm new to wrestling-ish. I've only been wrestling for 9-10 months. But in that short amount of time, I'm already facing the names I've wanted to be facing, within 3 years. Charlie Cruel is a national name. I faced her 2 months ago. Harley Fairfax wrestled at OVW. She's a national name. She's done it for a decade. I wrestled her last week. I've wrestled Randy West twice. She's a national name. It sounds like I'm bragging. I'm not. I'm just coming to terms with how fast things are coming together. It's kind of wild.
And by the way, she's no stranger. She'll wrestle men too. Anybody can get this work.
Sorry, say that again?
I was telling the folks that men can get it too. Anybody can get this work.
Oh, don't give a shit. Whoever. By all means. In fact, that was the thing I was trying to make happen at IPW for a long time. And a lot of promoters still have that whole no intergender. A lot of guys don't want to fight women or lose women. But I'm 5'11", and I will beat the shit out of you.
I would love one day. Probably not. I hope I'm alive to see it when that happens. Right now, it's just a what if, an intergender Royal Rumble match.
Oh, I love that.
Imagine the winner of that match. You got not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 options for championship gold. If you happen to win, right now it's just a what if. If you imagine if you win the intergender Royal Rumble match, you got 5 different options to choose from.
I love this idea. I never thought of that before. But imagine if Raquel Gonzalez wins it, and then she comes out and cashes in on Roman Reigns.
Yeah, man.
Speed up. That'd be sick. I like that idea.
Now, other people had women as their world champions. Triple A did it with Sexy Star, the first ever female to hold a world championship, a men's world championship of that. And then, of course, Tessa Blanchard, Impact Wrestling.
Some other funny facts is both of them are basically blacklisted from the industry now, too.
Oh, yes.
Sexy Star shot on Rosemary and broke her arm or dislocated her elbow for no good reason. And then Tessa's apparently a racist bully. Yeah. That sounds things.
Wow.
So, that didn't work out so well for those two, unfortunately.
Speaking of blacklisted, let me tell you something. There's nobody in the world that's blacklisted in this individual. He's dead. Chris Benoit.
Oh dear goodness! Yeah.
Nobody with an active contract that needs this money. Whatever. I've never heard anybody elsewhere, not just WWE, anywhere, mention the name Chris Benoit. You don't know why? They have an active contract and they need this money.
Right. Well, it seems like he's been getting a little bit of a comeback recently. Like his name's been coming up again. And it almost feels like people have just been waiting. Like, has it been long enough yet? Has it been waiting long enough yet? Like, we start talking about him again. So I'll tell you what, he was my favorite wrestler growing up. Of course. Like, just the best. I mean, that brutal. Like, he's a technician. He'll kick your ass. Perfect.
My favorite match of all time. His work with Kurt Angle. I loved Benoit Angle matches. Yeah. They
had a bunch of good ones. They had that WrestleMania match where they basically didn't even, I don't think they had any rope breaks, never left the ring. They just had like a straight up grapple match for like 15 minutes. Do you remember that?
I think I do. I gotta go back in time. I think I do.
Yeah, super, super technical. Nothing like that had happened in WWE before. Like that looked like some Japanese stuff. It was very cool.
Oh, man.
But yeah, that's a bummer. I mean, CTE. I've been wrestling long enough to meet people who seem real punchy from too many concussions. And it's hard to tell because there are a lot of wrestlers who do steroids and stuff too. But you see some people with like real rapid mood changes and temper problems. That could be steroids. That could be CTE. That could just be a bad personality. But yeah, it's interesting having been a fan and watched it on TV for such a long time, and now be doing it and realize that this is why people do this, that, or the other thing. It's pretty bizarre to all behind the curtain.
You know, unfortunately, there's no way to diagnose CTE to that person's dead. We have the brain, and then be like, "Oh, that's CTE." There's no way to kind of see it until you have the person's brain.
I know, that's a bummer. You would think they'd be able to, because doesn't it basically show up as a dead spot? Or I thought they could typically see like other brain damage areas on scans, but I guess I don't really know. That's a bummer. Yeah, it's hard to diagnose somebody's behavior if you don't diagnose medical.
Definitely. Now, I've read that you despise, for some reason, the Young Bucks, not if you will, quote, wink, wink, the new kid on the block, AEW.
You've heard that I hate AEW?
I read somewhere like you're not a big fan of AEW.
I don't know where you read that. It must have been Mad Magazine. I love AEW. I can't stand Vince McMahon or the WWE.
Ouch.
I'm willing to give it a shot. Oh dear. Are you a giant fan?
I am like, look. I'll put it like this. Everybody knows it deep down, like it or not. WWE is Old Faithful. You know what I'm saying? Because like we've been there for you.
Well, so is Lockheed Martin, friends. Well, here's my thing, right? I like work rate wrestling. I like Japanese wrestling. I like lucha. I like cruiserweight wrestling. Vince has always wanted to stick with the big man formula. Like anytime he gets a chance, he's going to grab onto the biggest guy possible. He's not the best. You know, he wants to just keep recreating the same old thing. But with me, like, I'm a shoot therapist too. I've been a mental health therapist for over a decade. I'm a social activist type. Like, I'm a big progressive politician type. I'm not a politician, but I mean progressive politics. So it's been obvious to me for a long time, and this might seem weird. If you don't want to go down this rabbit hole, you don't have to. But I've been looking at Vince and his creative for over a decade, saying, "This guy's fucked up."
You just figured that out?
No, I'm saying I've been looking at it through like a clinical lens, trying to actually diagnose like what's wrong with this guy for like.
Well, let me tell you, man. I should not have to know what your ass was like on national television, man. You know, well, I've seen the man's ass, and I should have to know what your ass was like on national television. But I do.
I hope somebody develops an algorithm so we can go back and just hit a button and count how many creepy scenes there were of Vince in a backstage scene with a half-naked woman in his lap, or half-naked women crawling around on the floor, or pulling his pants up so he sticks their face in his butt crack. Like, all this weird, degrading, You know what I mean? Like, dehumanizing shit. Like, he's a weird fucking guy.
Yeah, but there's good news, though, because now that he's off the picture, a lot of people never thought, like, he would, like, be, like, he would step down while he's alive. Right. You know, I thought he would drop dead doing this thing. But, nonetheless, he stepped aside after 40 years, mind you. It's now a fresh era coming to WWE after all this time, and I like it. Hopefully, we can get those people that have moved on. They're coming back slowly but surely as a fresh era. Rather, when Vince McMahon was running, it was this dog, like a tight leash, if you will.
Sure. Well, so tell me what you think of this. A lot of people think it sounds dramatic, but I don't think they're thinking about it hard enough. Remember way back when with the curtain call, where it was like the click and the hug in the cage? Who's the only person that got in trouble for that?
Triple H.
Correct. So now think about Vince needs somebody to punish. He's always looking for the fall guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He puts WCW out of business, humiliates them, as fast as possible. That's fine. You won the war, by all means, go do that. Well, then ECW goes out of business. And then TNA tried to take a run at it, and he beats them out of that. Well, then AEW shows up, and guess what? We can't put them out of business right away like we're trying to.
Mm-hmm.
And so who gets punished again? Yeah. Triple H. This is where people start disagreeing with me, but if you look at it, Triple H has a heart attack or whatever. And I wouldn't be remotely surprised if it was because Vince was reading him down behind the scenes, getting him shit, taking over, turning NXT into 2.0, firing all of his talent, you know what I mean, ruining them on the main roster before firing him. Mm-hmm. It just looked like an angry old dude finding an enemy again to crush, except this time it was within his own kingdom. Wow.
I'm interested.
Does that sound far-fetched?
Not really. But I would credit AEW with this thing right here. They have a lot of young folks in the business in their company. If they're used, I say this all the time. If they're booked properly, their future is hella bright.
Yeah, I agree. Who are some of your favorites? Who stands out for you?
MJF. I ain't seen him in a minute. But MJF, people like MJF, people like Sammy Guevara, people like I guess I'll give the Young Bucks. But if they're booked properly, man, that'd be years from now. My grandkid was telling me about, hey, I saw MJF on so and so. Yeah, I remember he was a young man doing that. MJF be a household name. Like I love that he's an AEW pillar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love that. I like how they focus on youth. I don't know if I think Jungle Boy is as great as they're making him out to be. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying anything bad about him. I just don't think he jumps off the way that they say he does. I think Darby Allin does. And I think Sammy, like you said, Sammy absolutely does. You know, when people want to shit on the Bucks, I really think a lot of that comes down to the tribalism. Like, you either love WWE or you love AEW. And I'm not that person. Like, I shit on Vince McMahon as a human being. But now that he's gone, I'm checking that again. I like Triple H's booking. I loved NXT when he was running it. Yeah. But I also love NJPW. I also love AAA. I love CMLL. I love, European shit. So, I think it's cool that they have that feel to it. They bring in people from NJPW. That they have all those Bullet Club people. The Bucks are so innovative. They're really the ones who ran that all-in, pay-per-view with Cody. If it wasn't for the Bucks, Cornette would shit himself sideways hearing this, but they're as responsible for the evolution of the business in the last 5 years as anybody.
Right.
Straight up, as far as your tag division, I don't know. A lot of people don't like Japanese wrestling as much. They think it's boring because the crowds are different, the styles are a little different. But are you a fan of Japanese stuff at all?
As a fan of wrestling, I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch a Japanese match. They're fast paced. You gotta know what the hell you're doing in Japan. They're fast paced.
Well, kind of alternates. So they can be their cruiserweight stuff is super fast paced. That's where they have crossover with CMLL and people like Will Ospreay, Pac used to wrestle over there quite a little bit. The classic Japanese thing is like the crowd is almost sitting on their hands. It's quiet. As you can hear every little thing while they're wrestling. But as soon as they hit some kind of a high spot, or like somebody goes for a pin, they'll clap. Like they'll be appreciative. But it's only at those moments.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been in front of a couple crowds like that recently. It was weird. I was down in Indiana wrestling, and the crowd was definitely involved, and they were invested, and they popped when they're supposed to. But they were like just kind of quiet. But they also weren't talking to each other. They weren't distracted. They were just quietly watching. It was weird. I've never been in front of a crowd like that. But I'm so used to Japanese stuff. That's where my brain went. But anyway, I'm jabbering all over the place.
But speaking of Japan, though, there's this thing that I think is going on now. The G1 Classic, one of the most grueling tournaments ever. You got to have some manhood about yourself to be in that tournament.
They made it even bigger this year. They added more people.
Ooh, Lord, you gotta have some balls being in that tournament. Metaphorically speaking.
Yeah. Well, it lasts months. What is it, like a 3 month, 2 or 3 months long?
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of tournaments, but I'll tell you this: you gotta have that. It's grueling. You got to win all your matches, and I believe it's single elimination. If I'm not mistaken.
But yeah, they don't do elimination. It's more like a round robin, so they keep track of.
Gotcha.
So they get points for wins and 0 points for loss or a draw. I like it that way, though. It feels a little bit less like a tournament. I like an elimination tournament, like the old King of the Ring.
Yeah.
This I like because they always grab the best talent to put in it, so there's really never a bad match. And so basically, any pairing winds up being pretty good. What I've heard from the wrestlers themselves is that the grueling part is the. Have you heard much about like their the tour bus system over in Japan, like how they get from show to show?
I haven't.
It sounds brutal. Even the big stars, they just like stack it into a bus, and it sounds like it's like school bus style, like not any kind of comfy, fancy anything. Right. And then they we're driving hundreds and hundreds of miles every single day because they have G1 shows, if not every day, every other day. So they're almost running like an old WWF kind of schedule for a few months there.
Wow.
But at least the Kingdom is there like WrestleMania, so whoever wants G1 winds up wrestling for the championship at Kingdom, which is cool.
Yes, sir. I love it, man. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, before we go no further, I got to mention to you our awesome sponsors. Wrestling Trash brought to you by Back to Delivery and More LLC. They put the D in delivery. You have a CDL license. You can drive trucks. You want more information? 888-712-2587. We got backup.com. Back to Delivery and More LLC. School's back in session, and Walmart still got you covered, man. Stop going to Target and all this other school supplies. Go to Walmart.com, Amazon.com, and get your kids something back. Kick their butts out of the house, take it back to school. Walmart, Amazon, all that stuff, they got you covered. Now, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of school, I wish these young folks here would understand one tiny thing. This one itty bitty thing. I appreciate how over in WWE, all this terms that taboo for Vince, like for example, a wrestler. That's a cuss word. You're a sports entertainer. But screw all that. A wrestler is a wrestler. God. You're in the wrestling ring. For the love of God, let's wrestle.
Right.
I appreciate sports entertainment, but for the love of God, let's wrestle.
So you're happy like I am that we can stop pretending that hospitals aren't hospitals and that... Yes. So weird. Why do you... I mean, I have a theory about that too, but...
Well, I understand because they don't want nobody going to the hospital. So you don't have to say the name of the hospital. Say you went to the hospital.
Yeah, but they always said what do they say? Local medical facility.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I understand that because they don't want the fans actually going over there. I get that. But you don't have to say the actual name. Say he went to the hospital. He'll be back. Whatever.
Well, but that's my point. They'll show you putting a person into an ambulance, and we all know where the fucking ambulance goes. So it's just like, why would you it just seemed like these weird control issues because it didn't make any sense. Now, the wrestler thing, I think he did. I think that he really wanted to break into mainstream media. I think that's why he kept fucking around with the XFL. I think at his core, he was embarrassed to be known as that wrestling guy. I think that's why I didn't even like the word.
The XFL is cursed, in my opinion. 3 different eras, it flopped. 3 different times. The 90s, they did it in the 90s, flopped. They brought it back, flopped. In 2020, COVID got serious, flopped. 3 different eras, XFL, it ain't working. And the first time they talk about football and wrestling, I understand that reason.
I think the curse is that it was Vince trying to do it. That's also why it's IFBB or whatever his, remember he was trying to do his bodybuilding thing? What was it called? ICO back in the day? ICO
Pro, I remember that.
Yeah, that also fired out after about a year or 2. So I think it might have had more to do with the fact that Vince knows how to do wrestling, but he doesn't know how to do literally anything else.
Well, that right there actually a good thing. Stick to what you knows. Okay, I think Vince McMahon, football does not come to mind.
No.
I think of wrestling. That's what you're great at. Stay in your lane. Do what you do.
Seriously. So, yeah, I'm glad that we're going to call wrestlers wrestlers. I'm glad they can say championships. I'm glad they can say hospitals. You know, I think it's all corny. I think the easier they make it, they're not going to make Michael Cole say unnatural. That was the other thing, is the weird unnatural ways they made the commentators talk.
Yeah.
Like, everything about it was just artificial. So, it already feels better. A couple of the things I've seen, like Michael Cole sounds like an actual human being. Corey sounds like more of a natural human being. Like, wrestlers are actually putting in more effort. I don't know. It just looks like a real wrestling show again. It's cool.
Oh, man. I remember, I'm going to say something about that. I can't remember. Oh, yeah. Okay. The women's division, I would love to see, over the years, women's wrestling has definitely changed a hell of a lot. I remember a time back in the day, it was nothing more than sex sells,
Yep.
And now women can whoop ass and open up a whole case of whoop ass and go get at it.
Yeah. Did you know, are you into MMA? Do you watch like UFC?
Barely. Actually, not at all. Unless Brock Lesnar's on there.
Yeah. I got really into UFC. I never liked boxing. I thought it was boring, but I was in karate and stuff when I was a kid. So when MMA came out, I got really interested. And I think I have a lot of MMA style stuff in my pro wrestling style. I like the ground and pound, the nasty looking violent stuff. But back in the day, Dana White, who's now a multi-bazillionaire who owns UFC, told people that you would never see women fighting in UFC, that it would be barbaric, and that nobody would ever pay to see it. And then when Ronda Rousey came out, she and Miesha Tate had their second fight, and I think that at the time was their all-time highest grossing UFC event.
Right.
And all of a sudden, they're like, oh, well, fuck me, I guess we better start getting more women in here. Same thing with Vince. Vince didn't even know what UFC was. He didn't want to see women bleed. He didn't want to see women actually fight. He wanted to...
I'm sorry about that. My ring went off. I'm sorry about that. Say again?
You're good. I said I think Vince kind of did the same thing. He didn't really want to see women fight. He wanted to see them strip.
I have no problems with women strip, but not all the damn time.
No, I mean, I'm bisexual. I'm down, by all means. Let's have that, but there's no reason Shayna Baszler ought to be stripping. Shayna Baszler ought to be breaking people's arms.
I don't see Shayna Baszler. I can't picture Shayna Baszler in a bra and panties match. I can't picture that.
Well, exactly. That's why some of us were afraid she was never even going to get a shot on the main show, because Vince is in charge of what the women do there. And she gradually became almost kind of a bit of a comedy character, like with Natalia. And with the Triple H is already trying to do a thing, make her a monster again. Things are building towards her and Rowdy finally having their thing, which would be sick. So they used to train together in MMA, like they were friendly in MMA. So that match would be real cool to see.
No, back to Ronda Rousey. I remember when she came here to WWE. I love this because nobody saw this coming. So I believe it was Royal Rumble 2018, 17. One of those years. So Asuka wins the Rumble. She about to choose between Charlotte or Alexa Bliss. And all of a sudden, Joe and Jess, I don't give a damn, my reputation plays. Oh, snap. It's Ronda Rousey. What's she doing here? Don't say a word. She don't say nothing. She just goes. She shake Oscar's hand. I said, "Sight, not today." And then she just points the WrestleMania sign. I'll see you later. I like that.
Yeah, boom. Just get in there, drop the bomb, and get out. That's how it's supposed to go.
Nobody expected her to be there.
No, I never thought in a million years I'd see that.
Yeah.
And how good was her match? What was it, her and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie?
Oh, yeah.
That was great. The stuff they had with her, like she'd beaten Triple H up, like they cast her like, I don't know, they set her up for success. They knocked out of the park. That was great.
Yes, indeed. I remember that, ladies and gentlemen. And also, let me ask you this. Would you ever go? Are there any matches that are off limits for you that you would never compete in?
A match style that I would never compete in?
Yeah, for example, let's go old school, like Inferno, Hell in a Cell, any barbed wire match.
I'd really prefer not to do anything with fire because it sucks. I'd really rather not do it. Plus, that match, come on, it's not even a good match. Like, it was kind of impossible to whatever. I would do Hell in a Cell. I think that'd be cool. I don't think I'd want to do, like, I would do a ladder match, but I don't think I'd want to do, like, a Money in the Bank. I don't want to be taking any bumps off the top of ladders, but I would do some spots. Barbed wire match, yeah, depends, maybe. Having done the thumbtacks, that really wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would be, but those are tiny little stickers, not big fat ones like barbed wire. I'd rather not do glass, like maybe some lead tubes. I could see that not being too bad, but I just know too many people who've been doing death matches the last couple of years who got like really fucked up. Do you know a guy named Hoodfoot who's becoming a big deal like in deathmatch wrestling from Chicago?
I haven't heard of him yet.
You'd love him. I mean, anybody who laid eyes on him, he's just kind of like a big black dude, bald, fucking super tough, covered in scars. Super nice guy. I've hung out with him a bunch of times at different shows. But he got stabbed in the armpit with a light tube about a month or two ago. And I mean, like, stabbed to where it opened up a big flap of skin right in his armpit. Like how Nick Gage got cut open that time and died in a helicopter, like bleeding out. It was just like that. The referee ran over with tape, was trying to close it up like Sabu back in the day, and it was scary. He had to get to the hospital overnight. Right at the GMS, blood transfusions and whatnot. So it's, Randy West got a 2-inch gash in her head about 3 months ago from a bad spot. So I'm good. I'll just wrestle. I like doing technical wrestling anyway. I don't need. I only had that one match because it was with Randy. That was kind of a few blow-off match, but I'd rather just kind of do a cage match and a hardcore match. That's some hardcore stuff, chairs. That's fine.
I love technical matches. My favorite submission match. I remember back in the day over at the E, if you will, WrestleMania 12. I want to say 12. Shawn and Brett Iron Man match. It was impossible at the time because nobody at the time wrestled for an hour. Matches like 5 to 30 minutes, at least 5 to 30 minutes. Nobody's ever wrestled for an hour. So they beating the hell out of each other. They wrestled a great match. Not one of them made a pinfall or submission attempt. It got down to sudden death, and Shawn won. But would you consider wrestling for over an hour?
Today, absolutely not. I never had any appreciation before for how hard that would actually be. I was just like, well, it's not like they're sprinting the whole time. I'm sure it's not too bad. The longest match I've had was about 14 minutes.
Wow.
And I thought I was gonna die. It's so much harder than it looks. Every little thing. So I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm saying right now I'd be capable. I will not even lie. There's no way I'd be able to do that. But I've suggested, and I have every intention of doing it going forward, when I get established enough in companies to start calling some shots, I want a submission match to be my specialty match. That's technical wrestling, like Bryan Danielson, Nigel McGuinness, Dean Malenko, William Regal.
Jericho, perhaps.
All of that. Zack Sabre Jr. is my favorite wrestler on the planet Earth right now, but he only wrestles in Europe and Japan. he might be. I mean, Danielson's always going to be in the talk for being the best technical wrestler of all time. I think it's a toss-up with Sabre. Sabre's more of a pure technical wrestler, less walling than Danielson was. But one way or the other, yeah. I was counting the other day, and it was actually funny. I was like working on a promo idea. I'm like, well, what if I started writing one day about the submissions I can do? So I actually started counting them, and I was dying because I couldn't even like list them all. I'm not like showing. I was like, holy shit! I should absolutely have one of those matches. I do like 30 different submissions.
Wow. Submission match, like, they're cool and all, but there's that point in there. Okay, if you don't tap out, let's say you slap somebody in the sharpshooter. That hurts enough. But when they don't tap, you got some point. They got to tap. Submission basically tap or pass out. That's basically what it is.
Sure.
Tap or pass out. And it's going to be one or the other.
Yeah. And I like that. I like that a lot because I think it's honest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I've won the vast majority of my matches by submission for that reason. I think it's more like a bullying move. Like, you're not going to have any excuses. You're not going to have any shortcuts. You're going to either go to sleep or you're going to give up. And everybody's going to see you do it. I think that's why I like it.
Have you ever been in a situation where you either tapped out or passed out? If you don't pass out,
in real life.
Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. In real life, yeah, I got in fights when I was younger and got put in guillotine chokes and stuff. Yeah, it sucks. It's terrible.
Oh yeah. I remember. I was 13, 14. My friend just got in the UFC as a fan. He showed me how. He told me a sleeper hold. I'm like, I can break that. Like, no, you can't. Yes, I can. He slapped it on me. Next thing I know, we were in my backyard. Next thing I know, I'm knocked out. And he went home. Like, never, like, he didn't bother to wait on me to come to or nothing. He was home. I'm like, what the hell happened? Where am I? What the hell happened? He was gone.
That's hilarious.
I was like, bruh.
Not only put your ass out, I'm going to leave you laying out in the rain. I'm going to go home and tell my friends about it. That's
right. I would go. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
I would go. I'm like, bro, what the hell happened? Like, I just knocked you out.
Did you have a headache?
No. I was trying to break it. I couldn't break it. And next thing I know, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah, I like, if I ever get anybody in the rear naked, I immediately also do a body scissor and just take them on the ground. And then put like figure four legs around the waist. There's no way you're getting on this thing.
Oh, man.
And just pin them down. Sorry. Also, the fun thing about getting somebody from behind, getting in that rear guard, is you can whisper sweet nothings to them while you're talking. I might have a sadistic streak. I can't help it.
Ain't nothing worse than getting your ass whooped and have somebody talking to you while you get your ass whooped.
That's right. Like while you're going to sleep, like, sweet dreams, asshole. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's my favorite.
Well, I'm gonna ask you this one thing. We're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna ask you this right here. If you could have a dream match with anybody from any company, including WWE, by the way, who would you face?
As of today?
Yeah.
Based on my size and style, and because of the platform, I would say Charlotte Flair.
Ooh, that'd be good.
But if it was just my preference for like how the match would go, I would choose Serena Deebs on AEW.
Nice.
She's like super technical. And again, I'm not braggadocious. I don't say shit if it's not true. I watch her wrestle and I'm like, I can do all that. I just like did this thing with Tommy Dreamer last night. I was at that seminar. And we had an opportunity to do practice matches, but my foot and ankle are like twice the size it's supposed to be. I've been injured for a minute. So I was like, this is a huge opportunity, but I can't wrestle right now. And then he let me do a promo for it instead. But nobody there was doing any technical wrestling. was on this like high spot, fast, go.
Mm-hmm.
And how much would it have stood out, you know, for there were only two women there. And I would have been the only one having a match, and to just like totally do all this off the wall technical stuff. You just don't really see that. That's why Serena Deeb is such a big deal.
Wow.
I want to wrestle her. I want to get in a dark match and wrestle Serena Deeb. That's exactly what I want.
That's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank so much Davison Sarai for her time. She is awesome. By the way, is there any way they can catch you? Like any links or something? Any place they can find you and everything like that?
Yeah, 100%. I got a YouTube channel started up that's got probably 50 or 60 posts now. It's getting good. You can find that just in my name. It's Davison, Davison, Sarai, Sarai. You can also find me on Twitter. I believe that's just Davison Sarai or Davison Sarai IW. I'm at this. I believe it's no. It's Davison Sarai 666 on Twitter. Davison Sarai on Facebook and Instagram. Anyway, I got some matches in around Michigan. I'm going to be over at Grizzly Pro this Sunday, 8/21. I'm going to wrestle in Lansing on September 3rd. I'm wrestling Kalamazoo on September 17th. I'll be in Muncie, Indiana at called Indiana Powerhouse Championship Wrestling on the 10th.
That is awesome. Y'all check this young lady out. I promise you will not be disappointed. You'll be like, wow, she did that. She put a foot in that match. So check it out. You will not be disappointed, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank Davison Sarai for joining us. We'll see you next time, Brothers and Tracks. Thank you very much.